Hello, here we are with an unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, the successor to the original Samsung Galaxy Note. Here we have the white 16GB version, but available is also a titanium grey and different memory variants, be it 32 or 64, but at the time of filming we only have 16GB available. So the packaging is almost identical to the original Note. You can see it's the GT-N7100. And then we've got a rundown of some of the key specifications on here. So it is a quad-core 1.6 GHz processor. We've got the S Pen technology that's been enhanced since the original Note. We've got pop-up note, video and web browser. We've got GPS including GLONASS. We've got a 5.5 inch HD Super AMOLED display. We've got an 8 megapixel autofocus camera and a front-facing video camera of 1.9 megapixels. We've got full HD video recording and playback, and a battery with a 3100 milliamp hour capacity. Android, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, you name it, it's all there. So there's the official packaging. Without further ado, let's get in and take a look. And here it is, and wow, that is big, and we'll come back to that in a second. So what's included in the box? We've got a quick start guide and appropriate warranty information documentation. We then have a range of accessories in white, which is nice to see to actually match the colour of the device. So we've got a mains adapter, and this is a 3-pin UK, 2 pieces to it. You've got the 2 pins you pop in like so, and then you've got the 3rd pin here. Got a USB port on the top, got the Samsung logo on the back here. We then have a white USB to micro USB cable, and that connects into the mains adapter, or indeed to a computer where you can charge the device also or transfer data. We've then got a set of in-ear headphones with a 3.5mm headphone jack. We've got inline microphone and controls as well. Quite a good little set of headphones there. We've then got a series of different earbuds to suit different people's ears for the headphones. And then lastly, we've got the battery, which is this 3100 milliamp hour battery for the Note 2, and of course it is user removable. So let's take a look at the device all powered up. Okay, so we've got the device all powered up now. So we're going to take a quick look around the device itself, the hardware side of it. So up the top here we've got the Samsung logo, we've got a speaker grill, we've got the sensors and the front facing 1.9 megapixel video camera. We then have this expansive 5.5 inch Super AMOLED display with Corning Gorilla Glass. We've then got down the bottom the physical home key, and here we have a menu and back key. So we've got the back key there and the menu key here, which can press. It's always nice to have that menu button. A few devices have that. On the bottom of the device we've got the micro USB connection. We then have the S Pen, which we can pull out just here, and there it is. So this has got new and improved technology to make it more accurate and useful too. It's a bit thicker than the original Note. Coming around to the side, flush here until we've got the up and down volume keys. Round to the top we then have the 3.5mm headphone jack and a microphone there by the looks of it. Actually I haven't put the cover on there. Coming around to the other side we've got a recess for removing the back cover just here, and then we've got the power button itself. On the back we've got the sort of gloss white finish, we've got the Samsung logo, we've got the 8 megapixel camera with full HD video recording and LED flash, and then we've got the loudspeaker grill down here, and then you've got the S Pen again just here. So before we take a look at the software, I just want to show you underneath. So here is the 3100 milliamp hour battery. We've got a micro SD card slot here as well, and then we've got a micro SIM card slot, not a full size SIM, a micro SIM. So we can pop the cover back on. So this does have 16 gig of internal storage, but you can expand it through that micro SD card slot, and if you do manage to obtain one of the larger units with more internal memory, then of course you've got more memory options. Just want to at this stage bring in a couple of other devices. Here is the Samsung Galaxy S3 in white, and it's quite safe to say that they look almost identical, except one's been scaled up. Not quite so sweeping corners. It doesn't really seem a bit square almost to the eye on the Note 2, but you can see how similar they are. You know, you can really see that they're from the Samsung family. The look and feel is very similar indeed. You can see the thickness is similar too. For comparison's sake, let's bring in a Samsung Galaxy S2 to compare it in terms of size there. Unfortunately, we don't have one of the original Galaxy Notes. Here's the iPhone 5, absolutely dwarfed by the Galaxy Note 2, and the Galaxy Note 2 is actually, or appears, just a fraction thinner than the iPhone 5. The iPhone 4 or 4S as well, just for comparison's sake. They look like next to each other. And finally the HTC One X, which obviously has a big footprint but not quite as big as the Galaxy Note 2. And you can see just how big it is. You can see sort of how my hand is stretching. Now it's either going to be kind of a bit of a love or a hate relationship with this. You're either going to like the really big screen because it's so useful, but I'd imagine a lot of people will dislike it because it is just so big to actually handle. So without further ado, now let's take a look at the software. So let's start by going into the settings and scrolling down to about the device, and you can see here is the GT-N7100, and it's running Android version 4.1.1, so it's Jelly Bean, one of the first devices outside of the Nexus family to be running Jelly Bean. So we've got lots of options here in the settings menu. We're not going to be able to go through them all in this video, but you've got motion controls as we've seen on devices of past, like the Galaxy S3, where you can sort of have smart alerts, so when you pick it up it vibrates to tell you if you've got missed calls or messages. Direct call, where you can just put the phone to your ear and it will automatically call the contact that you are viewing at that point. Pan to browse, pan to move, it's all sort of there. You do get 50 gig of cloud storage with Dropbox on here. You can of course add multiple accounts, including your Google accounts, corporate exchange accounts, Facebook, Twitter. Let's have a look quickly at the language and input. So here are some of the language options available on the Galaxy Note 2. We'll do another video in more depth on this. And then you obviously got keyboard options as well. So you've got your battery manager. I mean, this shouldn't really be important with a battery the size that it is, but if you're a heavy user, you might want to take a look at that. Display settings, block mode, home screen mode. You've got your data usage, your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth. Got more settings under here, such as NFC, S-Beam, All Share Cast, which is a great feature to use with televisions for sharing your content. So back to the home screens here then. You can see we've got a very similar sort of Samsung feel. They've got their TouchWiz interface over and above the Android 4.1 that's on here. We've got the phone dialer, which is very easy to type numbers into because it's so big. Of course, this all connects up and has your logs, favorites and contacts if it's synchronized. Let's go back. Got messaging, as you come to expect. We can just do a text message from here, and then we can go into the landscape mode if we choose to make it easier to use the on-screen keyboard. However, with the screen size like it is, you can get away with using the portrait keyboard most of the time. It might be quite big to use one-handed. You might actually prefer to do sort of a two-handed approach. Go into the applications menu, so you can see some of the things that we've got installed on here. We've got Chat On, which is Samsung's sort of instant messaging service. We've got the Dropbox again. We've got Flipboard. We've got an FM radio. We've got Gmail. We've got Latitude. We've got Internet Browser, Google Plus, Maps. We've got a file manager on here. We've got a couple of elements like S-Note, Paper Artist that really take advantage of the S Pen technology. You've got YouTube, you've got your Play Store, you've got navigation, and of course you've got S Voice, which essentially is Samsung's answer to Siri for the iPhone devices. You've got widgets which you can add to your home screen. I'm not going to go through that here because pretty self-explanatory, and if you've used Android before you'll know what that's all about. You've got your notification bar up at the top, and you can quickly change some of the settings up here, which is very useful indeed. So if you want to turn the sound off, turn GPS or Wi-Fi off, then you've got that option here. So we're connected to Wi-Fi with this device. There is 3G on board. Now it's important to note here that this is not a 4G variant when you buy it from Clove Technology. Whilst a 4G variant does indeed exist, because we're in the UK and 4G is really in its infancy, the devices that we have are 3G enabled only. So here we are at the Clove website, just to give you an idea of the browsing experience. So even some of the biggest web pages almost appear readable on the screen of this size, but you can of course double tap into the text, you can move about, you can pinch and zoom, you can navigate around, we can go into landscape mode if we choose. Let's play back a video here on YouTube. Let's go on to
Samsung Mobile have just announced the Galaxy Note 2, and I'm going to take you through a first quick look at some of the key features. The Galaxy Note 2 features a 5.5-inch HD Super AMOLED display and a 16:9 screen ratio to give you a nice wide.
So you get the idea of video playback there. I mean, in terms of a device for video playback, this is exceptional. The screen's massive. You could happily watch a full-length film on here if you wanted. And of course, this does have HDMI out through the micro USB connection. So if you want to connect up to an HD display, you can. The sound quality on this is very good. It doesn't sound tinny. It's loud enough without being excessively loud, and many people will be happy with the sound experience that you get from this device. So it weighs in at 180 grams, which kind of is to be expected for a device of this size, but it is quite heavy. Of course, you've got all the other settings such as Bluetooth on here. It's quad band in terms of the frequencies, so 3G frequencies, 850, 900, 1900 and 2100 megahertz. 2 gig of RAM, and you've got this quad core processor, so you should notice no lag. Now it's a bit too early for us to tell whether there is indeed any lag, but going by the Samsung Galaxy S3, which has a quad core processor, I'd be very surprised if you found lag on this. Let's just go and take a quick look at the camera. So it's a fairly standard camera interface on Samsung devices. You can flick between stills and video. You can also flick between the rear and front facing camera here as well. You can take stills, video on both of those. You've got the option to manage things like flash. You've got the options for the different shooting modes, so face detection, panorama, share shot, HDR. You've got effects that you can add to the photos, and you've got more advanced settings that you can go through as well, so focus mode, exposure value, resolution for your actual image size, ISO, and a lot more there. And that applies with the video camera as well, so you can go into the settings and you've got lots of different options here, including resolution. So you've got full HD, but you may not want to record in that. You can drop the size down. You've got different effects that you can add to the video, different recording modes, whether you have the video light on or off. So one of the cool features about this is the S Pen technology, and as you notice, I've pulled the S Pen out of it and it's automatically gone into this mode that allows you to sort of get on and use the features best oriented for the S Pen. So we can create a note here, and here we are, we've gone into the note application, and this is probably where it'll come into use for most people. So you can literally write on screen. You've got all sorts of options in terms of what you can actually do, and this has been demoed a lot in Samsung promo videos and other device videos, but you've got the option to record voice. So we're testing the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, so it's there, I can then play it. We're testing the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Got the option to then close that off. I've got the eraser, so I can rub out some of the things that I'm doing. Got the undo button, so it's going to put that back. You've got a writing pad here. We've got the formula function, so what we can do is we can write a formula and it automatically goes and puts it into sort of computer text for us, and makes it all a lot neater. We've got more options to go back to the pen here, what we do with the actual note, whether we delete it, etc. So the options are quite extensive. We've got lots of different note variations there. So you can use the S Pen to navigate around the device. You notice we've got a little notification in the bar at the top that we've got the S Pen sort of activated. And when you drag down from the menu bar, you've got shortcuts for the S Pen here. I don't know if you can notice just, but if we are close to the screen, you get this little circle on screen just under the S Pen. You don't even have to be touching the screen. As long as you're in relative range of the screen, it's picking it up. You might not be able to see that with the angles there. We can go to the gallery and go to some of our images. Scroll through using the S Pen. We've got the options to share our images from the gallery and decide what we're going to share them with. We could go and put them in S Note, for example. Can add the picture in here. We can resize it, we can rotate it, move it about, add some effects to it. You get the idea in terms of what we can actually do. The options are endless. So that's just a quick look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, available from clove.co.uk.